Here. I'm always running late. We got somebody backstage last minute. He did respond to me like an hour ago. I've been planning to have him on for a while, and he correlates right into this topic. What's up, brother Anthony, brother Jack? Good to see you guys. Oh, that's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I love that. I love that you do that. I really do. If I knew how to do it, I would. I have no idea how to do that though. But it's brought a lot of good people my way, and thank you. Thank you for that. I talk cryptids, cryptic crystals, friends with monsters. You are backstage, I believe, so I will bring you up in 1 sec. Why wait, right? Boom. Where are you at? You ready?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
All right. So thank you for coming on short notice. I appreciate you.
Oh, this is great. It's great to be here, and I'm glad I was able to catch it today. Happened to be off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I forget that, like, it's so weird being, off every day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird because, like, when people are like, "Oh, it's like TGIF," or like, "Oh, it's a holiday weekend," and I'm like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, woo! It's like that for me every day. So I forget, but it's not as glamorous as you'd think. But people are like, "Oh, that's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's not."
True that. You're working hard. You're a hardworking family man still with what you do.
Yeah, try, bro. So our topic is, guys, if you're not subscribed, please check out Friends with Monsters. He's right here, right there in the chat. If you got, I know you guys can't click it. Like, maybe one of the mods can pull it and drop it. So, all right. So, right, Reiki. It's I didn't know. I didn't know much about anything spiritual or like anything like that. Like, I would make fun of people who talked about stuff like that. Like, I'd be like, the first time I sat down in like a meditation, it was in a group, and I was like, and the guy was like, if you just try not to think of anything and calm your body and your mind, and if you start thinking about anything, just stop thinking about it and come back to nothing. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea what's going on in my head. You know what I mean? Like, the places I'm going are dark and horrible, and like, like every time I sit in silence, like I chaos ensues in my mind, and this is not for me. And then same thing with yoga. I was like, this is quiet in here, and like I'm like, I can't I can't get into this zone that you guys are in. Like, it's not gonna happen for me. And then the yoga instructor, whatever, was a Reiki master, and she came over to me, and I thought she put hands on me. She never physically touched me, but I felt her like over me. You know what I mean? Like, her hands were touching me, and I automatically like calmed down. And like, she was able to always put me in this state of relaxation and like calm, and to the point where I could get in this relaxed state. And I was like, I have to learn this, and I have to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to talk to people about this, and you know what I mean? I'm like, how is this not a thing that people know about? You know what I mean? Like, how is this not like the most like amazing thing that everybody knows about? Because I started to find out you can heal like all sorts of things, not just like anxiety and stress and PTSD. It wasn't just for things like that. It was for all sorts of stuff. I've cleared people's like sinuses and like all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? Like, so
Oh yeah, there's
anyway,
like lots of uses for it, and that's typical.
yeah,
Your experience is sort of typical of a positive first first experience with Reiki. That's typically how people come to experience it, is just by having a session, and then they realize, oh, this is life changing, and then they want to learn it. And so that's kind of how I didn't really know what it was, but I have always sort of worked with energy in one way or another throughout my life, even though if I didn't realize, or had a methodology of it. But I got interested in Reiki and just hearing about it. And at the same time, I think right before that, I got interested in light body activation. And that's kind of how it started for me, was hearing these stories of people seeing their light body or the Merkaba in these sessions. And I was thinking, oh, it's visual, like you're visually seeing it at that time. But I wanted to see mine, and that's not the way it happened. But I did have the experience, and I learned that I could see energy through my third eye, or with my eyes closed. You can see it in your mind's eye.
Right. Yeah. So, so how did it happen? Like, how did it happen for you?
Well, that was pretty much it. I mean, this has been over 10 years ago.
Okay.
When I started getting into it. Everything didn't happen right away as far as the connection to the elementals, although I've had an interest in them, and I've had an interest in just sort of a basic interest or understanding of elemental magic, and just sort of working with the basic elements. And that's probably what I would recommend for people too, is just kind of familiarize yourself with them. Most people are familiar with, the basic elements of fire, air, earth, water, and then you can add spirit as well, because you're going to connect with spirit through this. And the Reiki doesn't come from you. It's coming from the universe. Reiki means universal life force energy. So it's energy from source. It works irrespective of what your belief system may be.
Yeah. Like Rei means spiritual wisdom, and Ki means life energy.
Exactly. And this was actually, from a personal perspective, it was really interesting as I started, this was later, but as I started getting interested in this, I've really been hardcore into the subject of Bigfoot for the last 2.5 years, pretty much. And the channel's been around for less than that, but I started watching you out there, and it's really cool to see how your own gifts and abilities have developed over the last couple of years, especially. But I see you. It may not be apparent to everybody who watches until you're really sort of familiar with it or have an understanding of what's going on. But it's cool to see you use your intuition. That's one of the gifts or benefits, is that you learn to develop not only a sense of working with energy, but you learn to develop your intuition. It becomes more heightened. Any gifts that you may have already had, and I think that's probably true, especially with your Sicilian background, they seem to be pretty susceptible to it, to having or just being intuitive in general. I think it's probably helped develop your own sense of intuition, and we see you use that when you go out. It was really cool to see you going out and connecting with the water element and the water energy and grounding in the creek the other day, and that's kind of why I was interested in this. Was wondering if you were going to talk more about Reiki.
Well, I had to bring it. I wanted to bring it full circle, and I wasn't sure when to do it or like how to go about it. And when I went and finally did like that sit down in the water and talked about it, I realized how far away I was, and like it was freezing, and like I kind of rushed it a little bit, and like I know how important they were like pounding it into me to like bring that out. And I'm like, all right, I guess I have to like sit down and really like, speak on it. You know what I mean? And this is one of the main ways I do it. I have taken Reiki and made it an adaptive thing. You know what I mean? And like, I've had people come to me and and they're very religious, and they're like, well, I can't really touch on certain things. And like this, this doesn't affect religion at all, which is a good thing too. There's actually like a Christian Reiki site, for people who like to adapt it through that way. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, from my own perspective, I got interested in, like I said, light body activations and Reiki kind of at the same time. First, it was light body, and then Reiki soon after that. And then through that process of doing light body activations, I realized pretty quickly that you could photograph energy. People say, oh, well, they may not believe in Reiki or whatever because they can't see it. but you can see it, you can photograph it, you can photograph spirits, you can photograph energy and orbs and things like that. So that was a few of the things that I wanted to just sort of touch on briefly.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it's great.
and
I
for
agree.
me, it was just sort of a gradual process of becoming aware of the elements and the elementals. I saw somebody had a retreat center in Asheville where I was living at the time, and they had pictures of some sort of red looking orbs, and they kind of resembled the garden gnomes. They were taken beside some garden gnomes at this retreat center, and they said that they started showing up in the photos. So that's actually what sort of got me interested in actually photographing elementals. And then about that time, and I'm not going to go into my whole experience with the Sasquatch that happened about 9 years ago, but so that's when it really sort of started for me. Although I was not aware of Bigfoot at the time, I'm always interested in it, but I was not aware of any of this. And like I said,
Yeah.
for me, it started with having an interest in the elementals, and I sort of became aware of that they were around when I would sit outside and sort of meditate, and I had hummingbirds come and visit me. And I was aware that these elementals were around where I was living at the time. And I also started having animal sightings and encounters that were somewhat unusual. So that's another thing that I wanted to touch on for a second that happened for me before all this started was just sort of being visited by my animal totems and having that and seeing what kind of messages that they had. You can look that up. But just pay attention to your animal friends if they show up. Sometimes, and I also think that the Sasquatch will use the animals to get your attention in certain ways. But at the time, like I said, I was not aware of Bigfoot, but I was interested in the elementals and I was interested in my animal totems. And then also your animal totems can represent certain elements, like for me, and I think for you as well, having raptor sightings like eagles, seeing eagles and hawks continuously and like have them fly right over you really closely is all these just kind of gives me chills. But that could represent the element air. You might have your reptile friends show up. They could represent earth, air, or excuse me, water, fire. They could represent other elements, and I think just being aware of that and sort of connecting with those would help you connect more with the elementals. And like I said, I didn't start seeing them all at once. It was sort of a process. And then it was kind of after moving here and then going out to the parks and realizing that I was photographing these little creatures. That's when I really started getting interested in it. And that's pretty much what I do. I think more than anything, I don't really try and focus on one thing or the other, or have an agenda with the channel. My agenda is I just want to see them and I want to learn from them, whatever they can teach us and connect with them. And
we have very similar styles. Like we go out there and we just kind of connect to everything and just kind of say, hey, like we're here and we embrace whatever's, willing to welcome us. And obviously, like we don't, there's a way to go about it without bringing in anything dark, right? But I mean, like, you manifest that, you put it out there, you put out your intent, and the things that come back are amazing. They really are. And like, you nailed it on the head on so many different levels right there.
Thanks. Yeah. Also, I would just add, grounding is really important, when you're going out there and connecting and ground. There's two aspects. There's grounding and protection in Reiki too. You want to just sort of protect yourself. There's various ways to do that. I'm not going to go into all of those. For me personally, though, like I was gifted a piece of basalt it's a black lava rock. That's black stones are very grounding and protective by my forest friends here in the park. So I keep that on me when I go out there. I'm always before I think one thing we talk about, and I mentioned this with Dark Hour Paranormal when I was talking a little bit about this as far as preparation. I think I do try and get in the right mindset before I go out. I have a lot of respect for the elementals and for the forest people in general. I ask their permission before I do anything or before I visit. I just kind of state my intentions, and it's sort of a process or a meditation that I go through before I go and before I even decide where I'm going, just to see and feel what I get from them and what feels good, And I feel like there's been a couple of times when I forgot to do that, and maybe, I didn't have as great a results or whatever, but I'm just always thankful for my experience with them and what they've shown me.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. So, like you said grounding, like now here's the thing, like you guys can adapt these things any kind of way you want, you know what I mean? Whatever works for you, like whatever, you know. I had so many things I wanted to say and like so many directions I wanted to go. Every time I do this, every time before I start, I have all these things I want to say, and then I get live and I'm like a stuttering idiot. So, Ryan, thank you so much for like.
Oh no, thank you. You're doing great. No, I think yeah, there are a lot of ways. That's I always feel like this is a great topic to kind of revisit, or topics that there's a lot of aspects that you can venture off into on this subject as well.
It is, yeah. Yeah. So like spirits, I have a couple of things highlighted in a book, and I'm just gonna read them off because like verbatim, because that's how I highlighted them, and I'm just gonna read a couple of things and just see what comes from it. Spiritually guided life energy. Reiki is a special kind of key. It is a key that is guided by a spiritual consciousness and is defined as spiritual guided life energy. This is a meaningful interpretation of the word Reiki. It more closely describes the experience most people have of it. Reiki guiding itself with its own wisdom, rather than requiring the direction of the practitioner. Yeah. So, like for instance, here's another thing too, right? Like when you're kind of practicing, like you could really call like on anybody and anything, or you know what I mean, like you could kind of like be like, help me, help me God to do this, help me universe to do this, like help me whatever, it doesn't matter. You could be near a tree and say, help me Mr. Tree to heal myself. Like it doesn't matter what you do, like it's almost similar to like I find that part very similar to like a 12-step program, where like it don't matter what your higher power is, like you're just bringing in like some help to like help you channel like that good and positive energy to do what you need to do.
I would agree with that as well. Yeah, I've definitely done that myself a few times. Just ask even from a tree for healing, or from the forest people or whatever. Just being open to them working on me and healing things in my own life. I definitely think this experience has been healing. I think that's something that you and I both have shared and kind of touched on. That's kind of why I like talking about it a little bit. But yeah, for me personally, when this started, when Sasquatch showed up at my back door, I was not ready. I was not ready, but I was going through a lot of grief of my own, loss of family. And I think would have been different if I had been ready. But at that time, the things that I experienced, I had no frame of reference for. So it's definitely been a gradual process, or a learning process with all of it.
I couldn't agree more, bro. I'm trying to get your link here because I think people are having trouble finding it because
I tried posting the one they showed, but I don't think it's the right one.
No, because you know what, you have to search. You can't search Fremont Monsters. Because your @ symbol thing is still Greene County Forest People or whatever. So like you have to type in that to find it, then
thank you, Mike.
It's weird. So there it is. I just figured it out. Thank you guys. Thank you, mods, for trying. Thank you so much. Okay, so another thing. I always was like, look, like I'm walking around tired like all the time. Like I'm looking for Reiki to like, benefit me in healing and like feel better, and like, kind of sometimes I need to be rejuvenated. So I'm like, if I do it to somebody, like, or myself, because you could do it to yourself, you could send it long distance, you can re-energize, you could put energy into a stone or a crystal or whatever. You know what I mean? I've seen my Reiki master, the way she proved to me that it was real was she took a dead cell phone battery, totally dead, I tried it. She's like, look, it's dead, right? And she sat there with it for about 30 seconds, and I turned it on to have 5% or like 7% or something. And I couldn't believe, I was like, you can't be serious. She's like, yeah, one day I was, stuck, and I was like, let me see if I could charge it. She's like, I got enough for one call. And just like later on, I was able to like do better. She can get it going like that. Boom, like just get into it. Like for me, it takes a second. But again, it just takes time and muscle memory, I guess. But anyway, Reiki never depletes energy. This is another section I wanted to talk about. Because it's channeled healing, the Reiki practitioner's energy are not part of the session and are never depleted. In fact, the Reiki consciousness considers both practitioner and client to be in need of healing, so both receive benefit. Because of this, giving a session always increases one's energy and leaves one surrounded with loving feeling of well-being.
Yeah, that's really true. And it not only does it raise your vibration, the Reiki is going to go through, if it's coming through the practitioner, you're going to get all the Reiki first. It's going to fill you up before it really passes on to the next person or to the client.
Yes.
So as a practitioner, you're automatically, as you practice regularly, you should stay in balance. Theoretically, your chakras should be in balance, but I always like to say life happens too.
So people mentioned earlier about martial arts. I think it was Rob and cameraman, they were, and then you mentioned Tai Chi, and I totally agree. That's a very, very good thing to do. A lot of people don't know unless you do martial arts, unless you actually go and start to practice martial arts. People think you go in there and you just start karate kicking everything, and that's what you do all day is, hey, like, it's nowhere near what it is, right? A lot of it is discipline and like a lifestyle and a way and a mindset and like a way, just a way of life, if you will.
Yes, I think with the martial arts, that's another. It's you're using your chi, you're moving energy with all of that, from everything from Tai Chi, Qigong, Reiki. You're moving energy. It's good to have a balance of those. I had one teacher who was teaching me Tai Chi, and he was like a several degree black belt, but he was in a lot of pain as well. He said, yeah, you got to have a balance of the hard style, like from the karate or the Qigong, to the soft style of the more flowing to the Tai Chi, so that your chi is completely balanced.
I touched trees and plants of the forest, and I asked them to share energy with the forest. Absolutely. There's a lot of native tribes I used to, I forget the one that speaks of it, but they would ask permission from the trees to pass under the leaves and the branch, that's how much they respected everything around them. And absolutely, like when you have respect for everything out there, like you can totally connect with every single thing in that forest. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. The best advice I can give you is when you stop separating the Sasquatch from the forest, you will connect to the Sasquatch so much faster because they are not separate. They are one with it, just like the elementals are. They're a multi-elemental. Like that's the best way I can. There's no way you can categorize them easily, right? But it's one of the best tips I can give you.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that was really kind of opened my eyes. Was kind of hard to wrap my brain around, was how much they are the forest or the trees. Yeah. That's what I got, because that's what they were showing me. They were literally showing me that they are manifesting coming out of the end of a tree log that had been sawed.
Yeah. So I get people all the time, that's a stump, idiot. I'm like, is it? Is it? Maybe it is, but is it just a stump? But whatever, it don't matter. But it does. But I'm not gonna go down that road. But so another thing too with the gifts, I like to tell people to bring gifts. It's not necessarily about the give and take of it. It really helps you put yourself in a mindset of you're really physically like gifting someone, like gifting something in someone, and you're trying to form a relationship. And it helps put you into that mindset of intent that you're going there for the right reasons, and you're going there with, with respect and love, and, and it really just puts people in the right mindset and the right heart set, if you will.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Thank you guys all for being here. Rich Runner, welcome in.
I'll just go back to the truth is in the backyard. I like that. Yeah, that's I think another way, getting back to how I started, is just maybe even for people just to connect with the elementals that are around your house, because they're there, they're everywhere, but they can be right there in your own backyard. So I really like that.
Awesome. Yes, bro, absolutely. You know how many people have we talked to and just had them start in their backyard? I mean, seriously, think about it.
Right here.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, there's people I don't talk about. You know what I mean? I have so many people I speak to offline, and I don't talk about what we talk about. But I've literally just had so many people start in their backyard, and it's blossomed into the craziest shit you can imagine. And I'm like, it's so beautiful to watch, man. It really is. I don't know what Raymond said, but it held it for review. I'm sure whatever he's saying is fine. I don't even have to think about it. Yes, very healing out there. Right. Rob comes with me. And nature helped me a lot. Illness, mentally, physically, nature's wonders. Yes. Mm-hmm. Rob goes out there, man, and let me just say, he's grinning ear to ear. He puts me in a good mood, because he just he don't, I'm out there making a video and stuff, you know what I mean? But he, that's what I do, right? I'm used to doing it now, but I love watching him just walk around with no camera in his hand and just just looking around and just yeah, loving every bird that flies by, and I know
you can always tell that Rob is connected to nature.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's out there. I love that.
Yeah. What does Bigfoot use? Kung Fu?
He uses a wood ninja jujitsu.
It's quite possible. You know what I mean? That would be one hell of a roundhouse kick. With that big ass foot coming. Cameraman, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing him. He's been he deserves a lot more than he gets, and it's hard to get started. So usually when cameraman shares your shit, it helps a lot. It helped me a lot. So they got a very supportive tribe over there.
And this is really fun to talk about. Like I said, anything to do with energy work and healing. I love the topic, and it's just I'm really grateful to be here and sharing with you guys all of that, because it's just a great subject for me.
Yeah, Raymond, it happens, bro. Don't worry about it. I've done things that have pissed him off too, bro. One time, I'll just tell you this, right? One time, it was going years back, and I broke my sobriety, and it was a few years back, and I went out there, and it was the day after, and I still had the toxins in me, you know what I mean, all that shit, and I got in there, and it was just this disappointment, and it was this feeling of almost like they wanted to run me out, but they were like, come on in, almost and it was this pressure put down on me, on my shoulders, and this heavy weight. And it was such this tough love, right? And I get in, and all of a sudden I'm walking a trail, and I'm kind of just sweating for no reason. I'm pushing against an impossible force, it feels like. And there's this huge rock all of a sudden on trail, and I hear, pick it up. And I'm picking it. They're pick it up, and I'm I know if I want to keep going and get their respect back, I need to pick it up. And I carried that shit around for 2 hours, and it was this huge 20-pound, 30-pound rock, whatever, I don't know, but it was massive, and it made me sweat everything out of me. And sometimes they're hard on you, sometimes they do a little thing, but if you do something like that, it's very easy to make amends. They have patience with us. They know we make mistakes, whatever. If you carved a tree and you made them mad, my suggestion, go back, same area, doesn't matter how long it is, because time don't exist to them. It's a thing we created. Go back and plant a tree. Just plant 1 or 2 trees. Put a couple of seeds down. You know what I mean? It's like there's very easy ways to balance things out, you know? So, you know, I know I've heard you say that before, so I know it bothers you a little bit, but it's all right, bro. It's okay. You know? People carve trees every day. It was just, they probably knew that you know, they probably expected more out of you as a person or something. Who knows? I can't say for sure, but spot on gifting is good. Thank you. Yeah, his premiere was awesome. I wasn't there for the whole thing, but I know it was awesome because nobody was at Subscriber Sunday. Everybody was over there. I was like, where the hell is everybody? Squatch Fu, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that would hurt. Yeah, Kung Fu Bigfoot reminds me of the Glag saga. Oh, Glag. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool. I gotta check that out. I know who you mean, Glag with Duke, but I don't know. I gotta look for that connection. Love you all in here helping. Yeah, appreciate it, bud. Thank you. Well, like not a lot of people are like that, bro. So when I find people that are willing to help one another and like you know share around and like not keep everybody and everything to themselves, like you know, I try to keep those people around. So Bigfoot is such an amazing than any gift we know how to use ours. That's very true, bro. Southern Grits, welcome in. Gone Bananas, welcome in. Good to see you guys. So all right, I think we're caught up on that. Let's look at how does Reiki heal? We are alive because life energy or ki is flowing through us. Ki flows within the physical body through pathways called chakras, meridians, and nadis, and can also present and pass directly through the organ and tissue of the body. It also flows around us in a field of energy called the aura. The free and balanced flow of healthy ki is the cause of well-being. It is the ki that animates the physical organs and tissues as it flows through them. Ki nourishes the organs and cells of the body, supporting them in their vital functions. When the flow of the healthy ki is disrupted, it causes diminished functioning within one or more of the organs and tissues of the physical body. Therefore, it is disruption in the flow of the healthy ki that is the main cause of the illness. So I can go on and on and on. But the fact is, a lot of us need healing, like because of tension of our energy. That's why our body aches. That is why our, you know, like stomach hurts, or why different things like, you know, sometimes we have to get out of our own way, and that's what Reiki can do. It can move around your energy and get it out. So what you do in the beginning, if you're really treating someone, is you do, even if they say, hey, my neck hurts, hey, my back hurts, you do a biosense scan over their whole body, and you really can find the most troubled spot, and you work on that, and everything will help furthermore from there. But yeah, so basically you're getting that energy moving and getting it out of its disrupted state, and you know, getting the person out of their own way. I know it sounds ridiculous maybe to some people, but no, I wouldn't be talking about it. I'm like one of those people who like, I love doing this because I was the skeptic and the person who talked shit. You know what I mean? Like I was that guy that was like, you know, whatever. You know, you got to go to a doctor, right? Like that Western medicine shit. Like it's crazy talk, right?
Well, the Western doctor really only treats the physical. They don't really treat.
Oh, maybe I mean Eastern. Maybe I mean Eastern medicine.
Right. I feel like that's the difference between
backwards.
Eastern and Western, is that the Western tends to treat the whole of the person, whereas the Western medicine is kind of more focused on just treating the physical. And you can even say that maybe the mental is kind of given an afterthought, but they don't treat the spiritual aspects of it as well. And the spiritual informs the physical or impacts it. An example that, I would always give would be, say someone has had a broken heart a lot, and then they're scared to love. So maybe that heart chakra is going to be closed off more. Their heart chakra could need a lot of work or a lot of Reiki. And it can even impact the physical in terms of having heart issues later on. So that's one way that the spiritual informs the physical, and those injuries, whether they're actual physical injuries, spiritual, emotional, or things from a past life impact the physical light body, they tend to stay in the light body. So that's another thing. When you're practicing Reiki, you are treating the light body. You're treating that sort of magnetic field that retains that memory of the imprint or the impression of that injury over time.
That's well said, bro. Very well said. I have a couple more things highlighted, and then I'll be done. Blah blah blah, and like for stuff out of a book. I don't know why I have this highlighted. Balances the right and left sides of the brain, bringing harmony and peace. Okay, so this might be about symbols. Yeah,
well, that's another thing we didn't even touch on, because we kind of mentioned a little bit before in one of the live chats, where you were talking about the energy of some of the glyphs, and that sort of has stuck in my mind since then.
Well, like like that's the distant healing symbol right there. You know what I mean? Like
look you shouldn't show that.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's wild, bro.
No, yeah, this a lot of times the glyphs remind me of sort of these Tibetan style symbols.
Can be, right?
They can represent energy, as you said. I feel like they can represent messages, or they can represent a lot of things. I feel like, as far as just getting back to what the cameraman said about touching plants and rocks and things in the forest, and sort of connecting with that energy. The Sasquatch people, to me, what I get, are very empathic. So a lot of times if they're leaving these glyphs, they're leaving messages. A lot of times I feel like that there's feeling or emotion. There's a whole range of communication that takes place in that. And that's very much like what the Reiki symbols mean, or whatever. There's different Reiki symbols that have different sort of functions or purposes, and they have different meanings. But it's when you use them, they're very powerful. And I feel like that's just another sort of connection that I believe that the Sasquatch have with Reiki.
I totally agree. I mean, I totally agree. Like, Reiki is like a small level of like what their capabilities are, but that's what like really helps me understand them too. Is like understanding Reiki helps me understand like how they're able to just be so, they're able to just handle themselves so much better. It's like they have all these. Reiki's just one little thing, you know what I mean, amongst so many things, All right, let me read this one thing. The origin of all pure conscious. The origin of all is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness exists at the deepest level of being, and at this level there is no time or space. Sending Reiki to others. Oh no! All right, now I'm going back into that sometimes. So now I'm going back into this again. So all right. I had some things underlined, and I thought I had them underlined for this, but I guess maybe it was other stuff. But anyway, that was a good thing to speak of. At least that first sentence. The origin of all is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness exists at the deepest level of being. At this level, there is no time or space. I mean, no time or space.
Yeah, that's kind of the translation of the meaning of the what you call the distance symbol. It's the symbol that you learn, or that you use to send Reiki. through to other people or causes or to the planet in general, really to anything, to future events, to the past.
Yeah. It's crazy though. Like when I think about this kind of stuff, and then I think about all the like roadblocks that are put in our way of things that like how we're like minimized into thinking like we're not capable of doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like you could I send healing to people all the time. You know, a lot of times I'll ask them if, you know, if they're okay with it, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to invade their space like that. But pop through a portal and throw a log on that like button. So Mike has stupid comments. Throw a rock on that like button. Lean a tree on the subscribe. Bend and tuck over to the share. Guys, I have to run. Sorry, my son broke down. Needs my help. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mike and Ryan. I'll watch this when I get. Oh, no worries, bro. Take care of yours, man. Thank you so much for being here, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, who's this guy? Happy 4th. Happy 4th. Yes. Happy 4th. Well, maybe we'll pop on tomorrow. I didn't realize my son's coming over tomorrow, so I probably won't be on here. I'm not a big 4th of July person, but I'm gonna have to do something. You know, I'm gonna have to man up and just do something with him. So, you know, maybe I'll take him fishing or something in the day. I'm not big on the
take him fishing.
I'm not big on the fireworks and stuff. So, this is something I wanted to show you guys real quick. I know I've showed it on a short before, but this is a cheat sheet to see how like open your your chakras, I guess would be it, or see how your energy flow is and like to what extent, because you could hold it over some people and like it won't go nowhere. But basically you just put it like you want to put it like an inch over your palm and just hold still, and it'll you see how it starts going in a circle. I didn't think my energy was that open today, but it's going. See how it's going? So that's just energy. I'm not. I know some of you might think I'm moving my top hand, but I'm not.
Yeah, that's one way you can demonstrate or actually show that it is energy. Some people may say it's coming from your hand, but it's actually it's flowing. You can feel the heat too. If somebody's doing Reiki, you'll feel the heat. You can physically feel the energy coming from your hands. And again, Reiki doesn't flow for people who don't want it. So you have to kind of be open to it. That's true.
Bro, you nailed it on the head again. Like, I'm happy you came on here because I always say it. And it's like pixie dust. Like, it's like pixie dust. If you sit there and say like, if you sit here and say, screw this, screw this, screw this. You know what I mean? I walked around as a kid and I used to tell people, how do you know we can't fly? And like, they would be like, we can't. Like, I'd be like, how do you know? Did you go and ever go ask everybody we can just jump off a building and see if they could fly? Like, how do we know? Like, we're just being told shit. But this was the mentality I had. I was like never accepting of just like being told something. I'm like, I don't buy that shit. You know what I mean? Like, but whatever. I mean, that's a little extreme, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, so I always knew there was something more. Like, I always knew there was something more. I knew it wasn't 9 to 5s and traffic and politics and news and, you know what I mean? I knew there was something more. I never thought it was going this way.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. You don't know until you actually, start on your path or whatever. You don't know where it's going to go. I felt like, I had a lot of experiences when I was young and like it was always leading me somewhere, but I had no idea it would be this, even though like now looking back, I can kind of see it, and it all sort of makes sense that even probably from an early age, I think I was having, rocks thrown at a mobile home as a kid by possibly Bigfoot. And so I think it started, and that's a whole other story, but
I
It's
think we're a product of our
always had an
environment
interest
too.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're a product of our environment too. Because for me, I was thinking Nessie, and I was always drawn to water. I lived on an island. Like we took vacations in Montauk, like off season a lot of times because it was expensive and it was close to home. And I had a single mother, with not a lot of money. So we would go out there and like that was our vacation, Montauk every year. And we would go whale watching every year. And I loved it. It was my favorite thing to do. And like, so my mind was always maybe set on the water, more than like the woods and the woodland beings and stuff, and so I was always like, there's got to be something out here in the water, like that was my mindset. And I was going to Montauk and I didn't know anything about Montauk until I met like Brian and DHP. And like I didn't even know I was going to the lighthouse, which was next to Camp Hero my whole entire life, going to that town my whole entire life, and had no idea about Camp Hero. I was literally born like the year that the project ended, so it was like it was right there. I just didn't know about it.
Yeah, when you start talking about there's things in the water, I immediately think of sharks. But
Well, yeah,
that's just me.
but again, even if it's just like there's got to be something we don't know about,
Oh, for
like
sure.
like I'm like there's
There's
more
so
shit
much.
out
Yeah,
there
the
that
oceans are so vast.
yeah, like they just like, oh, Megalodon's gone. Like, how the fuck do you know? How the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? Well, you just didn't see one today. You know what I mean? Like that's like my thought process. That's just my thought process. Dinosaurs are extinct. How do you know? How do you know? You go walk around everywhere on New Zealand today? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Guarantee you
people
there's
are
a
still having
velociraptor
sightings and
hauling ass.
encounters.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's shit running all over Australia and New Zealand, and you know what I mean? Even the Adirondacks, like this shit, I guarantee you there's shit running around out there that's extinct. That guy Forrest Galante, it does exactly what I'm talking about. He made a show out of it called Extinct or Alive, and there was like dozens of things that they said was extinct, and he was like, nope, 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 and he went through hell to prove it, but he wasn't listening to like the people who were sitting behind a desk going, well, nobody's seen one in 20 years, so they're extinct. He was going to tribes that were living in those areas and being like, have you guys seen them? And they were like yeah, like they just yesterday or like last week. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so like it's pretty cool. And the way he got into it was his like grandpa like discovered the Silo camp or something, like that of just extinct fish or something. Anyway, the bomb. Rob brought back the bomb today. I had a out of body experience as a teen. That's cool, man. Well, I don't know if it's cool, but me too, Rib. Baby back, baby back. Chili. Baby back, Rob's barbecue. Barbecue. All right. So I don't have much else to talk about, guys. I mean, this was really the nuts and bolts of it. We can talk about it off and on, but I'll leave it open to questions for the next 5-10 minutes. And so let's look at this. I have huge bouts of depression dealing with the question, is this all there is? Death, taxes, recreate, kill the planet to fill a bank with money? Absolutely not. That is the stage that is set to distract you from, the real world. That's to keep the rich rich, and to keep the, you know the deal. You know the deal. It's to keep us like in a role, like a. People say, well, do we live in an avatar? Are we in a matrix? Kind of. I mean, I don't think we are, but we kind of are because we're being controlled from up here by, greater powers. It's not like we're like a glitch in a game, but, I don't know. Maybe some of it is. I don't fucking know. But I was in a car wreck, not on acid. Oh, well, shit. I guess either one of them's kind of a rush, but different ways, man, Shit, man. Sorry to hear that. I hate that. I've been in so many car wrecks and like I literally like I've been in them and like forgot that they happened like the next day. Like I've walked away from so much shit that I shouldn't have walked away from, and it just like looking back, I'm like, yeah, something's there, like just plucking me out of there, like over, just walk away from everything. Like it makes no sense. One time, this kid, the girl I was dating, we were in high school, and this kid wasn't even supposed to drive yet. Like he wasn't even like allowed to drive. You know, he had like one of those like you can drive to school and that's it. And it was like the middle of the night, and like she had her curfew, and like they were like the girls were like screaming at him to like drive. So he like I don't know if the expressway was closed or something, but he went off the side onto the service road. And like he had one of those Jeeps, you know, those Jeep Wranglers, not Wranglers, the well, whatever, not the high Jeeps, you know, the box, but like one of those like just generic ass Jeeps that everybody has, you know. So, however, he maybe cut the wheel or whatever. We did barrel rolls like just like 15 barrel rolls down the fucking street, and you know it was like smoking and like, but like we were like shoes over there and other shoes over there, like your balls back there, like it was like our shit was everywhere, like hundreds of yards apart because that's how many times we did flips, and we all walked away. And that was like probably the first time that happened to me, you know, that I can remember. So I mean, I don't know. So you know, there's got to be something out there looking out for some of us, right? That's right, Rib. I call Rob Rib. Just that's all right. And my autocorrect always puts Rib too, so it's kind of funny.
You have to change your name, Rob, now.
We ordered pizza asking for a friend. Anthony, I just had pizza for lunch. You didn't have pizza. Where the hell are you? You're not. If you're not in New York, you didn't have pizza. I wish everybody could have pizza from New York. I wish you all could try it. I really do, because I've been around this freaking globe, and the pizza ain't pizza. it's some version. It looks like it. Often imitated, never duplicated. All right. Hi, just popped in. What is Reiki? Oh, sweet Jesus. I can't start over again. You're going to have to run it back. And hang on. Let me give you the definition. How about that? Reiki defined. Rei is spiritual wisdom and Ki is life energy. And then you kind of guide that into like a healing, and you could do a lot of different things with it. I suggest looking into it because my teaching is not going to be, I can't really put into words, you know what I'm saying? If I had this, you know, I used to describe it as like an energy massage, but that's not what it is. It's, you know, it is, but it's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it can be kind of like relaxing, like a massage.
Yeah.
That is a good analogy,
Yeah,
without the physical manipulation of tissue. That's what we tell people.
Yeah, like if you don't need like an actual heal, like if you don't need like a real healing, like that's what it is. Like in a sense, it's like you're going in and coming out like that relaxed. You know what I mean? And I couldn't even shut my eyes without seeing trauma. You know, and that's what Reiki changed for me. Reiki changed that for me. I could not close my eyes without seeing hell on earth, and it changed that for me. You know, I started healing.
Yeah, again, I think it's good for PTSD. I just wanted to go back to what Raymond was saying a minute ago before we kind of got off track, and I think that's the subject of out-of-body experiences is a whole other topic of conversation.
Yeah,
but that's something else. It could be sort of related. I've had my own experience with that. Nothing that quite that traumatic, but I nearly drowned and came out of my body for a minute when I was on my 6th birthday at Carolina Beach, by the way.
How do I meditate? Is that's a tough question. So the way it was taught to me is to just practice, time, a few minutes at a time, and try to just sit and be like still and be nothing. And every time your thoughts like go off and like you start to like get distracted from just trying to be in that moment and relax, and um, just go back to that moment, go back to that whatever. Bring yourself back, bring yourself back. And that's the easiest way to practice, for sure. And then, from there, there's more to it from there, but that's the way I learned to start, to meditate, was to just do nothing and learn to do nothing and learn how to bring myself back to doing nothing. That was how I started. And it was the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, I think that's key. I think that's what you're saying is just kind of key to just keep focusing on it or trying. And it's you're going to get distracted or have other thoughts, and that's perfectly normal or natural. I will say for me personally, yeah, I was somebody that didn't think that they could meditate until after starting Reiki. And for me, my meditation, I would say, is mainly just doing Reiki. It's like when you're doing the actual distance, if you're sending it to something or sending it to yourself or just something in the future, whatever it is, when I'm doing Reiki, or a lot of times, especially when I get most of either the messages or like I'm being guided by spirit, or I'll see things a lot of times. If you'll have visions when you're meditating, and that's just kind of talking about how seeing energy with your eyes closed, but a lot of times I will actually see things as I'm working on someone or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that's kind of a form of meditation in itself. I feel like when you're doing
Absolutely.
Reiki, it's made the meditation game easier for me, because I never thought that I could meditate, but yet I find myself doing it when I'm doing Reiki.
Well, I couldn't meditate. I think I did. I learned Reiki, then I learned to meditate. Honestly,
Yeah.
Because I knew how to calm myself better. But yeah, I actually do, like, that's what I do when I'm out there, is kind of like a walk in the woods. It's like a walking meditation, like a walking, like it's literally what I'm doing is I've twisted all this stuff into how I connect and how I got to where I am with the Sasquatch. Like, you know what I mean? It all tied in. Like when I got to this level, like of consciousness and healing on my own and like clarity and all that stuff, that's when it all clicked, and that's when it all started to happen. Ridge Runner says I have some empathic abilities, and going into the woods helps me connect with nature and heals me as well. 100%.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Reiki is very helpful to an empath too, because like for guys like us, like empaths who go out and you pick up at people's energies, and it can be very draining and suck you dry, and like it's very good at like you can recharge yourself, so I don't really take naps. Like I'll say, like, I call it reset. Like I'm going to recharge, I'm going to reset. Like I don't really nap, but it's almost like a nap. Like I'm like putting the hands on myself again.
Yeah.
And like putting it back into me, and it's like, and I'm not, it's not me, it's not my hands putting energy into me, right? Because I'm depleted. It's something coming into me and me putting it into me. You know what I mean? And it sounds a little wacky probably to some of you, but that's why I want you to hear it from me, because like I'm just a regular ass dude. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's just like that analogy you mentioned earlier about the battery. Your teacher demonstrating how he could recharge a battery. You have to kind of recharge your own batteries.
Yes. Oh shit, Danny. Like, we know how to meditate, but try and keep this PG, please. Why? What'd I do? Did I curse a bunch? Because like it's probably I do it so naturally. Doing nothing seems to be difficult for many people. It is. It really is. You're always thinking about what you have to do, or some people try to keep busy all the time so that they don't think about things, right? There's other ways to go about it, and there's healthier ways to go about it. And I'm not no spitting image of like health, you know what I mean? Like, but just I'm not preaching to you. I'm just giving you something. If you use it, you use it. If you don't, you don't. If you never think about it again, it's your choice, right? Let's see. I knew it. Yes, we seem to go off track here quite often. Yeah, we do. That's for sure. We definitely do, Rib. We definitely do, Rib. Well,
The
we're at an
McRib.
hour. We're at an hour. I'm gonna have you back, obviously, because you helped me out with this in a major way. Because I would have just been a stuttering, stupid jackass like you.
You
Every
never.
time, bro. I'm like, I am
Yeah.
talking to people, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. I gotta go on, and then I get on
No,
here,
you
and I'm like,
always do all right. That's how I am. I get nervous. I wasn't nervous today because this is right up my
it's
alley,
just,
I feel like. But yeah, no, I
yeah.
appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, anytime. I love talking about anything like this. You've helped me a lot too, personally, with this subject.
We all help each other, man. It's like it's I don't know. There's no point in keeping it to myself. Like like seriously.
No, I don't really talk about it on my channel either. So, I mean, this is, like I said, this is a great opportunity. That's why I was excited about to come on today.
Yeah, they've been
It's just good timing.
they've been really nudging me in this direction and making like and it's not really like my secret like I've talked about it in the past, but it wasn't people weren't really receptive to it. So I was like, all right, whatever. I guess nobody really cares how I do it and how I go about it, so I'll just go about it, and nobody really wants to know how you get there. They just want the result. Just show me this aspect. So you know what I mean? But now they're nudging me back this way to like be like, no, 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 no. Like go and help people get to where you are. You know what I mean? So I'm here, and you're with me. So thank you, bro.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I had an out-of-body experience twice during 2 of my back surgeries. Oh, yeah, that was cool. I remember that. This is interesting. I was above watching them install my plates in my back. My neurosurgeon said he had 5 other people tell him the same thing. Strange.
Yeah, that's
Interesting because, like,
I don't want to see that.
the guy tested him, too, and was like, oh, yeah, like, the guy tested him and said, like, did you see this in the room? And he was like, no, it wasn't that. Like the guy was like, "Oh, did you see like the quarter I had in the room or whatever?" And he was like, "It wasn't a quarter; it was a penny." You know what I mean? Like and he was like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? Like, oh man, yeah. Sorry, I make light of like out of body experiences. Like, just like it's yeah. The way I look at it is I'm like I try to see the positive in it, and it's like we're here, right? It's we're here.
Yeah, we're survivors.
We're survivors, yeah.
For sure that.
I don't even know what flag that is. I have no idea what flag that is. Red, white, and purple? What do you call a body with no nose? Nobody knows. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the answer. I don't know. What do you call it? What do you call a body with no nose? I don't know. Oh, is that the answer?
Yeah,
That was the answer. The winner. All right, guys. We'll finish off on a good note like that. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. Please go. I'm just going to put it in here one more time. Post a comment here. Where's my clipboard? Is this it? It's got to be it. Come on. Hopefully I didn't give you a link to like my freaking bank account. I don't have a bank account, so I can't. I don't know if that's him. Nope, that's not it. That's here.
Somebody else.
That's not it for sure. Oh, shit. All right, let me try one more time. Oh, I know why. Because I did it on this one.
Yep. think that's why I
Don't
found
click
it on
that
my
link.
phone. But
Don't
it's hard.
click
I
that.
can't do it from my desktop, or the right one for my desktop for whatever
That
reason.
link will just take you back to here. Here it is. Sharon, you don't want what Sharon's smoking. She's a wild one. No, thank you. And I saw your message. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go check that out in a second. By the way, I saw you earlier. Please send me what you're smoking. Have a great 4th. Happy birthday, America. Go subscribe to him now, or you're fired. Scotty B, I got all the jokes all day long. That's why you got a monkey avatar. Moon, thank you for being here. Let's just do a quick roll call back. I like that little microphone you got. Do you use a laptop?
It's a desktop.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I gotta get that shit taken care of.
It's old.
It doesn't matter.
I can't even edit my videos now on my phone.
I just talked to Brian about it, but he's like, yeah, I might have some computers that I like rebuilt that like I got laying around. I'm like, all right, like he's just like, he's like, yeah, he has like 2 computers set up. Like he's him, he's like a freaking whiz. Like, but that's like what he does. He like takes them apart and like puts them back together, and like it's one of the things he does. At least the guy's just brilliant. But anyway.
Yep.
So next month is I think we'll be back at it Montauk again, like every year. So
yeah, I can't wait for that.
It always gets a little silly. Yeah, it's always fun. If anybody wants to come out, let me know. It's a long drive, and but whatever. If anybody wants to come out here, let us know. It's next month. Too funny.
Oh, y'all are all funny. Y'all are all cracking me up.
I like that. I love that everyone's just having a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's such a great community.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. I love it. Thanks, everyone. Chat cheering me up today. Everybody stay safe. Yeah, no, Moon, I wasn't going to go into your situation, but I hope you feel better. I'm over here. Oh. All right, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to go get some pizza probably now. I was going to get Mexican food, but now I'm looking at calzones. So
that's what's up.
The meet and greet camp out is that's going to take forever. That's going to take me forever to do. That like festival thing I'm going to do. That's going to take me forever. Yeah, I got so many things I have to take care of before that. So I'm looking at like next year. But I mean, anybody can come. If anybody at one period wants to come out here and, I can set up I can literally just set up a campsite where we come and like just hang out and shit. But it's not going to be like a big, the big to do that I want to set up. So if you guys are interested, we'll set that up. We'll just set up a meet and greet camp out at the end of summer. I don't care. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. We'll talk more about it soon. But the place I had picked for like doing like a weekend thing, so everyone could like bring their kids and like everyone could stay and like fishing and all that shit. Like it was like the best location ever. But that's that takes time to get the money together to get that stuff going. But anyway. Yes, thank you, Friends with Monsters. You filthy animal.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate you.
Okay, I'm gonna get off of here. Yeah, get some pizza. Y'all get some food. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all.
All right, guys. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Later, brother. All right. Yeah, money. Yeah. So I mean, like, I can definitely set it up where like we go to the campground that like I was just at with Brian, because that was only $40 a night, and the campsites are huge and they're very relaxed, and it doesn't get that busy unless it's a holiday. So I could literally rent like 3 of those for like 2 days. You know what I mean? And that would be like coming like under $200 for like a bunch of people to bring tents and just hang out. So we could do that like very easily. Well, no, 200, under 200 and 8, but whatever. Yeah, it will work out. You know what I mean? If we want to do that, if you guys are interested, I'll just set a date. I'll get those sites and then, you know, but we'll talk about that more. Maybe we'll talk about it next Sunday or whatever. But, all right. Go enjoy your meals, everybody. Thank you for being here. Peace be with you. John P. Thank you all for the support. Please go subscribe to Friends with Monsters, aka Green County Forest People. If you like what we do here, you'll like what he does. And then the Discord. There's a Discord too. If you guys want to come to the Discord, it's always going. It's always going. Let me drop that in here real quick. Let me find that. Where the hell is it? There it is. Bing, bing. So, if you guys want to hang out at the, chat after the chat ends, there it is. All right, bro. All right. Appreciate you. Nah, you're not too far. Get on a plane, somebody will pick you up. Not me, somebody else. You're looking great, John. Love you, buddy. I'll do a day trip, no nights. I know, Rob. I know how you get. I've noticed it's quiet in there most hours. Yeah. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it's going to pick up, though. That's for sure. All right. I'm out of here. Later.